You're not overthinking, you're trying to control the outcome. And I say that with all the love in the world because it doesn't look like control. It looks like you're being thoughtful, you're being prepared, you're being responsible. But internally, it feels like urgency. Everything feels like you need to get it right. And my friend, that's not clarity, that's control. Welcome to the Manifest and Chill podcast. My name is Tracy and I coach and guide high achieving women to build and manifest the life and business they desire, all while learning to chill the fuck out. Let's dive in. Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome back to the Manifest and Chill podcast. I'm Tracy. Our last episode, we talked about self-trust and how most high-achieving women do not trust themselves when they're under pressure as much as they think they do, and how that holds them back from being able to pivot, move, and adjust quickly. Today, I want to take us one layer deeper. So if you haven't listened to that episode, I definitely recommend going back, but it's not a requirement to get through this one because when self-trust isn't fully there, control steps in. And most women don't realize how much control is actually driving their business. So there is a pattern that control can be disguised as being a really great leader. And high achieving women are used to being the ones who hold everything together. So, control for us, it becomes normalized. We control the timing. We're always aware of when things need to be accomplished and when we need to start a task. The outcome, we have it all mapped out of all. If we follow all these steps, this is exactly what's going to happen. And the perception of a situation. And especially if you're living in the Gen X world where perception was more important than the reality of what was going on, this is going to be a mindset shift that you're going to love, but it's going to take some adjustment. And then we control the details. We have everything beautifully scheduled, chosen, decided, which makes us incredible constructors, incredible manifestors. But somewhere along the way, it felt safer to manage everything than trust yourself to handle what happens. Surprises scared us. I cannot tell you how many women I know, even clients that I coach, that are like, I hate surprises. And that's where this control comes into play. What I found in doing my research and preparation for this very podcast is that there's very strong research that supports this process that I'm talking about, the control theory. There's work from Dr. Robert Sapolsky shows that when the brain perceives uncertainty without a sense of control, your stress levels increase significantly. Hello, cortisol belly. So what does the brain do? Well, it tries to create control. So you tend to think more, plan more, and manage more. Not because you're doing something wrong, because your nervous system is trying to feel safe. And in some cases, this can turn around and look like self-sabotage because of these control default modes that we're in. But here's the problem. Control might reduce your short-term anxiety, but in the long run, it will increase the long-term pressure of being a leader and being an entrepreneur. Because now you're not just leading a business, you're holding everything together. And that, my friend, will not scale. And there was a point in my own business that I realized something incredibly uncomfortable. I wasn't being strategic. I was being controlling. I was overthinking all my decisions. I was over preparing outcomes, and I was trying to anticipate everything before I moved. And I'm not going to lie, it felt responsible. And I received great praise from my colleagues of this trait. But what ended up happening is it became exhausting. Migraines, chronic fatigue, decision fatigue. And then I realized it was slowing everything down. And here's the shift. And this is where we need to be very clear on this entire thought process. This is not just a mindset shift. This is an operational shift. You don't stop controlling by thinking differently. You stop controlling by changing how you operate. Let me say that again. You don't stop controlling by thinking differently. You stop controlling by changing how you operate. Yes, you need to be open-minded to things changing, and that is a mindset shift if you are closed-minded to options. But it's the actual action. And I always say manifestation coupled with action is what creates great works. So you have to stop controlling by changing how you operate. And in my methodology, Manifest and Chill, we define the shifts like this. Control will tell you that you need to make this work. Leadership will tell you, I trust myself to respond to what happens. And that sounds so simple when I say it. But once you apply it, it will change your entire structure of your business, how it scales, how it grows. Because now, once you've mastered this shift, you're going to move faster. You're going to hold less tension. You will stop over managing every single fucking outcome. And your business is going to grow. I promise you. So I have a little activity that you can apply. It's a 72-hour shift. It's interrupting control at the source. If you actually want to shift this, not just understand it, I want you to try something different over the next 72 hours. I would like for you to not provide more action. I would like for you to provide for yourself, gift yourself, if you will, more awareness. So for the next 3 days, I want you to track one thing and one thing only. Where are you trying to control an outcome to feel safe? And step one is you're going to catch yourself in real time. When you notice this yourself, when you notice yourself overthinking, rewriting, checking one more time, hesitating before you can move on to the next project, task, decision, I invite you to pause and then just name it right then and there. Say it out loud. This is control. If you catch yourself overthinking, pause. This is what control looks like. If you find yourself rewriting for the 20th time in ChatGPT, pause. This is control. Checking one more time to make sure that you've proofread the entire email before you send it, and you've already proofread it 4 or 5 more times before that, name it. This is control. Anytime you find yourself hesitating before you move. So this is a great example. You get a DM, let's just say, on social media for somebody that you would love to have a conversation with, and they reach out to connect with you. Are you pausing and not responding immediately? That's control. If you see that DM and you're like, yes, I would love to, let's figure out a time to connect. That is not having control. Your schedule doesn't need to be perfect. You don't need to worry about finding the perfect day. You're initiating growth and a mindset shift with your new actions. All right, so that's step one. Step 2, I want you to feel it. Where do you feel it in your body? Do you feel this control? Do you feel it in your chest, in your jaw, in your stomach? How about shoulders? That's a big one for me. I always say, time for me to put my shoulders down from my ears. Control always has a physical signature. And when you catch yourself in control in real time and you pay attention to what your body's saying, there is a mind-body connection that will take place to assist you in getting out of it. Remember, recognition is your first step. Step 3, ask the real question. Ask yourself this: what am I afraid will happen if I don't control this? And this is where it gets honesty, because it's rarely about the task. When you ask that question, what's the fear? What's the reality? What's the honesty behind it? Is it about being judged? About getting it wrong? About losing control? About being seen differently? Name it again. Write it down. Have a pad of paper, a journal, a pen right there with you. Type it into your notes to your phone. Give yourself a freaking voice memo in your phone. There is no reason that we cannot, my friend, document this growth. Step 4, you're going to choose differently once per day. Just once. I'm not asking you to move mountains on this one. Just once. Find one moment where you would normally tighten up and take in control and sit in your control and continue with it. I want you to do the opposite. So like I was talking at the beginning, that email or DM or project proposal, send it. Somebody reaching out to want to grab a cup of coffee with you, even though you're not sure you want to or how it's all going to work out, decide it. Move. Do not let yourself sit on this. And watch what actually happens. And I would love to hear what happens. So down in the show notes, I have my Instagram. You can message me there. You can go on my website, tracy@tracyfatacek.com. That's my direct email. You can message me directly through email. I want to hear what came through for you. So there's a little science to tie in this shift that we're looking at, mindset and physical action shift. There's research in neuroscience, including work from Dr. Lisa Feldman Barrett, showing that our brain predicts outcomes based on past experiences. So what does that mean? You're not responding to reality of what could actually happen. You're responding to what you maybe felt in the past. You're responding to what your brain expects might happen. Hallucinations of fear, basically. That's why control feels necessary and why it's often not. And we are in a time frame in life in this AI era, and AI is making everything move faster for us. But it's also slowing us down, because when you are sitting in a place of control, it is incredibly tempting to search for more data, to search for more strategy, to search for more options. But leadership is not about controlling more variables. It really truly is about trusting yourself to navigate them. And he or she who moves first will always win the game, because you will learn faster and you can move again. You're not a rock. You have the ability. You've got 2 legs and a brilliant mind that will allow you to figure it out at the end. So I have something for you. If you are feeling constantly managing, overthinking, or holding on too much responsibility, that may not be your capability. And I want to land this plane a little bit on this one. Sometimes we think that we are holding on to too much, we are overthinking, or we are managing something because We maybe don't have a full breadth and depth of the knowledge to make the decision, but you are so much more capable than you think you are. You have a proven track record of your capabilities. So it may be that your business is in the wrong season. And when I say that, is I have a quiz and it's called the Energy Alignment Diagnostic. It will help you identify what season you're in, whether you need to scale, rebuild, or reset your structure. So you're not forcing growth from a controlled space. And the link is in the show notes if you'd like to take that free quiz. But if what I just walked you through landed, and you can see how often you've been operating from control instead of trust, then you also understand something very important. This is not something you shift quickly on your own, not because you're incapable, but because this pattern is so deeply layered into how you lead, decide, and hold your business. And that's exactly why I have built the Energy Aligned Business Strategy. This is not just another coaching program, but it is a place where we can actually change how you operate. And inside the EABS, we don't just talk about mindset. We are looking at where you're overholding, where your structure is requiring control, and where your identity hasn't caught up to the level you're building. And we shift it at a level it's actually happening. Because control doesn't go away with awareness. It goes away when your structure supports you, your capacity can expand, and you are no longer the one holding it all together. And this is a 6-month container, and I'm currently accepting applications for the next round starting in May. Accepting applications right now. If you're listening to this and thinking, I can see exactly where this is showing up for me, that is your signal. You don't need more information. You don't need a different way of operating. And the application link is in the show notes. I would love for you to apply. In closing, you do not need to control everything to succeed. You do not need to trust yourself enough to lead. And you've already proven you can build something. Now it's time to build it in a way that doesn't require you to carry it. I'll talk to you soon, my friends, in our next episode. I hope to see you in the application so we can build something beautiful together. If you found any value in this episode, I would be greatly appreciative if you would leave me a review below or send me a note in Instagram and let's chat about what came through for you or what was highlighted. My link to my Instagram account, Tracy Fatacek, is in the show notes below. Until then, I love you all so much and have a beautiful rest of your day.